All right. Welcome to tonight's guided meditation. How many people have not been here before ever to a guided meditation with me? Raise your hand. Really? Okay, just a few. So the ground rules are I will give a guided meditation and you don't have to listen to it. It's basically, you can sit and do your own meditation if you wish. Otherwise, if you want to follow along, feel free to follow through the whole thing or follow up until the point where you don't want to go further and just keep doing what you do there. So it's kind of up to your own discretion to adjust your dosage, okay, for your own experience. Other than that, please stay relatively still and quiet. If you're going to move so slowly that it doesn't make sounds. That might disturb your fellow meditators. Okay, that's pretty much it. Can we de-hot that just a tiny bit? Thank you. Is that still okay? Can you guys hear me? Okay. Thank you so much. Just that edge of it constantly ringing is really terrifying. So the last couple weeks, we've started out doing bija mantras as a group. Previous to that, we were often doing mantras as a group. So tonight, again, we'll do some bijas. And I feel inspired to do the same ones as last week, which are the goddess bijas. So those will be Om, Aim, Hreem, Shreem, and Kleem. The four of them rhyme, kind of. Aim, Hreem, Shreem, Kleem, right? And the idea is we'll just be sticking with one of these mantras, one of these bijas. Bija means seed, right? A seed mantra for a few minutes. And so feel free to take a breath whenever you need to take a breath and then just start again. The other thing is that I'll set a tone, but you don't have to match the tone. If your voice is comfortable higher or your voice is comfortable lower, we can be doing, different tones. And then lastly, tune into the sound itself. It's really a special thing to be in a room with a lot of people doing this all around you. And if you tune into the sound and just don't think about it, but just kind of relax and let the sound carry you away or feel the sound in your body or whatever, that's really the desired direction. Okay. The one thing I ask is don't just sit there quietly unless you have like a medical condition that requires you to not chant. Please join in. So we'll start with Om and then go to Aim and then go to hreem, that's an HR sound, hreem. Then shreem, SR, shreem, and then kleem, KL, right? Kleem, Om, Aim, hreem, shreem, kleem. And these are bijas of goddess energy. So the sound is the sound of awakened goddess energy. Okay, so this gets us in a good place for further meditation. So let's go. Remember, you could do other tones. Really imagining this one vibrating in your third eye really strongly. This is probably the original name of the goddess in Sanskrit, Shri or Shreem. It means literally the blessed one. Lastly, KL, so now just let that resonate throughout your experience, and just allow with a very, very open awareness, very open field of consciousness to feel the breath wave rising and falling. You don't have to concentrate on it, just notice it in this really open field of awareness. If you want to, you can do ujjayi breathing. So on the out breath, you're kind of still humming a little bit, or hissing more like, with your just slightly tightened throat on the out breath. So like, I'll do it really loud. You don't do it loud like this, but like on the out breath. And that will continue just a little bit of the energy, that Bij mantra, on the out breath. But really, we're just resting with wide open, spacious awakeness, feeling the energy of the breath throughout the entire body. If you want a little more of something to hold on to or focus on, you could still actually mentally do one of the Bij mantras, remembering that these are not just goddess energies, they are literally the goddess herself. And so you can bring, by just, for example, mentally repeating hreem, you're bringing that into this field of awakeness, allowing, in a sense, the enlightened, awake, loving goddess energy to do the meditation for you. Just feeling the energy of breathing through your entire body. I recommend, though, that you don't do this in a tightly focused way, but in a wide open, relaxed, spacious way. And just notice that the breath wave comes and goes, rises and falls, arises and passes, all within a vast, boundless, centerless openness of awakeness, an open field of awakeness. And in that field, the breath wave is just one of the things coming and going. Landing nowhere, catching on nothing, utterly free and independent. See if you can notice anywhere the breath comes from, anywhere the breath stays, anywhere the breath is going. Now, at this point, if you're doing anything with the breath, just let go of that entirely. Don't try to do anything with the breath. Just breathe. Don't breathe in any way. And notice that even though the breath is arising within this vast open space of awareness, that inside the breath is equally spacious, equally open. Inside the breath is vast awakeness. This is not something we imagine or conjure up. It's just there to be noticed that within the breath itself, there's tremendous space. And see if you can feel, instead of the breath itself, the physical sensations of the breath, see if you can feel the energy of the breath. Good. Now, if that feels good, you're welcome to just stay with that. Otherwise, let's jump right to simply sitting without placing your mind in any way. Simply sitting without placing your mind in any way. Don't place your mind in meditation. Don't place your mind on any object. Just sit. Of course, if you get caught up in thought, that's placing your mind on an object. So we just relax from holding on to that and come back to not placing it in any way. But just to be confounding, not placing your mind on purpose is a kind of placing it. So we're just not putting our mind anywhere. Or not putting it in any way. If that's too much, too unstructured, too chaotic, come back to the breath. Otherwise, another way we could say this is if you notice you're doing anything on purpose with your mind, just stop doing that. But if you're trying to keep it in some kind of blank state, that's doing something on purpose. So it's not that you're going to just sit with a blank slate either. If you get drowsy, remember to sit up straight, open your eyes. If your mind is stuck on a thought, just let go of it. If you find you keep trying to put your mind in a certain way, just let go of that. If you're trying to land it on something, give up on that. If you're wondering if you're doing it right, you're not. Again, if for you this is just one long experience of total distraction, come back to breath. Try to keep your posture nice and both upright and relaxed, if that's possible. So you're not slumping or fidgeting around or whatever. You're simply sitting up pretty straight, but not like ramrod tension. You've got a lot of relaxation in your shoulders and your face. If you're just conking out, open your eyes. Sit up straight and open your eyes. Notice if you try to do something at all with your mind, you'll lose that sense of open naturalness. But if you try to not do something with your mind, that's trying to do something with your mind. So that doesn't work either. Good. I'm going to ring the bell not to end the meditation, but to start a section of Tonglen. So now think of someone you know who is having a hard time. Breathe in all their sorrow, all their difficulty, all their pain, all their disease, all their suffering of any kind into yourself, not into your small mind and small body, but into your bodhisattva nature, which is infinite and can take on any amount of that without any difficulty. Breathe that into yourself, seeing it, if you want to, as a kind of dark smoke. And then on the out breath, you're giving them all your good stuff, all the joy, all the freedom, all the health, all the love. Again, the bodhicitta, the infinite nature of awakeness, has more than enough to spare. So on the in-breath, taking in all their difficulties, on the out-breath, giving them all the joy, love, relief, peace, health, holding back nothing. Don't be stingy with your Buddha nature. Good. Now, if you want to, you can switch to taking in all the difficulties of this group. We're a Sangha here meditating together, so we help each other out in various ways. And one of the ways is we can do Tonglen for each other. So just think of all the other folks in the room. On the in-breath, taking in all their difficulties, all their sorrow, all their pain, all their distress, all their anxiety, all their sorrow, all their terror, in as a kind of dark smoke. And then, which again, because of the extreme vastness of the Buddha nature, is not a problem. And then on the out breath, we breathe out as a kind of bright light, love, joy, peace, kindness, health, luck, happiness, good stuff. Good. Now again, with our awake nature, our wide awake, wide open consciousness, our Buddha nature, there's no limit on this. So now, if you're feeling up for it, we'll do Tonglen for every being in the world. Every human, every animal, every plant, every insect, every other kind of entity in the whole world. There's a lot of suffering out there. Breathe that all in as a kind of dark smoke. And then from our vast Buddha nature, breathing out as a kind of white light, love, peace, joy, health, freedom, kindness, and so on. Give it all away, give it all away, give it all away. Okay, very good. This is Tonglen, the practice of giving and receiving. It's a compassion practice of the Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva of compassion, the one who hears the cries of the world. That's what Avalokiteshvara means. The mantra of Avalokiteshvara is Om Mani Padme Hum. So let's chant that for just a very short amount of time. So because it's going to be short, please give it a lot of energy. This is the energy of this Bodhisattva of compassion. So it will really resonate with what we've just been doing in a powerful way. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum, Om 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 Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Just momentarily rest in that field of infinite openness and compassion. Good. Let's end that there. Feel free to race off to the restroom or whatever. Otherwise, we've got a microphone and we will pass it around. If you raise your hand and you can ask me questions or report on your experience. Faiza, you have the microphone tonight or somebody else? Ariel. So yeah, if you have something you'd like to share, please raise your hand or ask. Remember, this is live to the internet also, so it's not just us in this room. Is that on, Ariel? Now it's on.
All right.
You're having some kriyas, clearly.
Somewhat.
Kriyas, involuntary movement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was working with like resistance during the session and like noticing like having a thought come up, then like letting go of it. I noticed that like my letting go of it had like quite a lot of resistance and pushing away in it.
Yeah.
And I felt like unable to remove the thought without pushing it away and creating resistance to it, and ended up just sitting with the thoughts from that.
Sure.
What's the balance between like just being with thoughts versus letting go of / removing thoughts?
Well, you're kind of already begging the question in the way you're asking it, right? There's a balance there. There's something about the English phrase letting go that has two different meanings. One is you were holding onto a bird and now you just let it go. It might sit in your hand or it might fly off, but you've let go, right? That's one meaning. A more recent meaning is to get rid of it, right? It's a euphemism where people, what they want to say is fuck it off, right? But they, instead of being direct like that, they'll be like, let go of it. But what they mean is push away. So I mean the first kind of letting go, where you just open your hand, you're holding onto a bird, you notice you're holding onto it, you just release your grip. The bird can stay there if it wants, but you're not holding on to it. If it flies away, that's cool too. But there's no need at that point for it to fly away because you're not hanging on. So that's what this letting go means.
So actually just observing it without clinging to it.
Yes, but you're not even observing it. Right? You're just letting it be there. Okay, so observing it means now I'm doing a thing to it also. I've opened my hand, but I'm also like performing an experiment on it. No, it's free.
Being with it, maybe?
You're just awake. You're just awake, and you've let it go in the sense of you're not hanging on. Now you're just here. So it's not a special, that's what I mean. Don't do anything on purpose with your mind.
Yeah.
Don't do something to it, don't hold it in attention, don't be a certain way, because then you're placing your mind. So when we do this style of meditation, that part of the meditation, you just you don't hang on, but you don't do anything after that. Okay? As soon as you're doing something, now you've hung on to your mind, so to speak. So we're doing that same gesture with your entire mind. You're not putting it on anything, but you're also not putting it on anything. Okay? So that's hard to do until you recognize that awakeness itself is not your mind. Awakeness itself can be perfectly awake without putting your mind in any way. And so our fundamental delusion is that we're constantly focused on the condition of our mind, when that's just a sideshow. And so this way of meditating is intended to it's an antidote to focusing on your mind, the condition of your mind, and just say, who cares about the condition of your mind? Let it be whatever it wants to be. And instead, just be awake. Not attending to something, that's the mind. Just be awake, which is there without doing anything. Okay? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think the way it pops into my head is like, another wording of it is let it be rather than let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Might have more accurate connotations to me. So that's wonderful. Thank you.
Wonderful. What else is going on out there?
Thank you. So recently I've been having a lot of hip tension. So I've been trying to meditate in a chair, but at least with these chairs, I can't find a way to like keep my spine up and my neck not stiff. So every time I noticed like neck tension, I kept trying to figure out, do I fight the urge to readjust my posture? Do I try to just relax and then let my neck kind of take the brunt of the like physical sort of intentional effort to stay upright and not fall down? And there was like a lot of sort of both physical and mental like fabrications, if you will, arising around that sense of balance and tension. Do you have advice for what to do when that kind of thing happens?
What happens if you sit on a cushion on the floor?
So my, I think it's the external hip rotators like kind of lock up, at least the ways that I've tried to sit on a cushion. It might be that I just need to learn like the proper technique to sit on the cushion.
Or just do it more often. But either way, eventually your hips will open up a little bit. And then the whole point of the cushion is your pelvis rotates forward. And so that allows your spine to just, like if I rotate my pelvis back, my spine slumps, right? And then you get into all the stuff you're talking about. But the minute you rotate the pelvis forward, if the pelvis is tilted just a little bit, your spine goes zoop, straight up and everything. Now I'm not doing anything.
And at home, I use this meditation bench that lets me kind of be in like Vajrasana, Sesa without discomfort. But say that again.
Does that feel good?
it feels way better than this.
Bring your bench to meditation.
Okay.
What's that? Okay. Well, apparently we're getting some meditation benches, but feel free to bring yours as well. And that will hook you up. But in general, what we want to do is have that very relaxed, easy, upright spine where I'm not being military about it, but because of the way my my pelvis is, it's effortlessly upright.
When you are in a situation where that isn't available, whether you're in a car or whatever it may be, can you have advice for how to deal with when you aren't in a good postural
You
situation?
just do the best you can.
Okay.
Sometimes you just got to let go of it and just let it be what it is. Hello.
Hello again, Michael. Good to
Hi.
see you.
What's your name again?
Sahil.
That's right.
I've been asking meditation teachers this question. It's not really alive in me, but I still want to ask you this while I'm still here.
Then I'll give you an answer that's dead in me too.
Is there some metaphysical constraint that prevents you from walking the path for me? Is there some reason that you can't meditate for me?
Yes.
And what is that reason, and why do you believe it?
Why do I believe it? I didn't say I believed it. You asked me if there's a reason. Sure. The reason is that you're already a fully awakened Buddha and you have all the power in the universe. So I can't do something like that to you, but because you're the only one holding yourself in your current state of mind. And so when you decide to let go of that, you'll be awake because you're already awake. Currently, we're in the place we're at on purpose to experience what it's like to be this. That's the given reason. Okay?
And what do you make of, like, say, psychedelics that might help you find that, or even this meditation that might find me help that? Do you expect that there couldn't be something that would do most of the job for me in an instant or something?
Not really. Even if you do psychedelics and have a big awakening, when the psychedelic wears off, then the awakening can still, sometimes in rare cases, still be there, but you still have to integrate it under your own steam, right? So nothing can do it for you. On the other hand, being in a group of people who are doing something similar, talking to teachers, having inspirations or bodhisattvas or let's say entities that are guiding you. There's a lot of help available, but it's help. None of them are doing it. You have to do it because, again, you have kind of this complete freedom, even freedom to be asleep.
Doesn't that make me separate from you in some way?
I don't think so.
Can you say a little bit more about that?
I'm not sure I can, but let me try. Just in the sense of that, even though you, Saharag, might have your own individual wave that's cresting there, our deep ocean is not separate. Okay, I usually don't like talking like that because it's just meaningless babble, but maybe it's not so meaningless.
Thanks.
Yep. Any other question that's not alive in you that you feel like sharing with the group? Mark.
Not sure if it's a question or a report, but
It's a quaport.
yeah, that's a nice word. Portmanteau. When, early when you were teaching this, I think it was dropping the ball was your term back then. It's always tricky at the beginning because an instruction is something that's followed, that's done. And I think that's why I struggled originally. Or people say, oh, do not, there was a doing the instruction to not do the instruction. And over time,
Nobody ever said it wasn't paradoxical.
right. But over time, I've found that place. But today there was a kind of refinement that I was doing. And I guess it was a form of what you do sometimes when you teach, when you do the grasping of the fist, and that it was in the use of the contradiction, the contrast. And so there was a sense of like, what is it to deliberately, intentionally place my attention somewhere and to feel what that movement was like? And there was the energetic contraction required to direct the attention. And then what is that's opposite? Releasing that energetic contraction. And then it was just there. And then there was no need to figure out, am I there or whatever. So
Right.
it was like
This
the
is
use
the-
of opposites.
Yeah, and this is what I'm always, you're right, that's what that is intended to feel like.
Right.
Because it's really more of a feeling than an idea or a thing you're doing. It's just
Yes.
so this particular gesture. So here's what Mark is referring to. Often when I teach the meditation, that was the main part of tonight's meditation. I'll just say, make a fist and then squeeze it. So come on, you guys, make a fist and squeeze it. And squeeze it hard till it kind of hurts. So that's doing something, right? And now I want you to just stop doing that. Now, we can get into a paradox of whether that's doing something or not. And that's like a mind fuck, right? Is that not doing something? I don't care about that. Just notice how it feels different. So try it again. This is doing something. And then when we relax, that's what it feels like, right? We're doing that thing with our mind. Okay?
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was doing. To refine was to place the attention to feel that, and then to feel the relax, and that was it. So I was just doing it internally, which I've never done before. So
Yeah, excellent. So sometimes the instructions are moods or almost like poems rather than like
Right.
instructions.
Yep.
Yeah, very good. Thank you so much.